Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. We're making our way through May. It is going really fast. I actually can't believe we're about to hit half a year of 2020. That actually came a lot faster than expected. So, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about alternatives to H1B. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what H1B is, and I'll give you some alternatives. Before I start, I just want to mention that, as you know, our firm has different departments, right? So we have a department that deals just with business immigration. As a general rule, anything through employment based or investment based is not available to people who have crossed the border or people who came with valid visas but then fallen out of status or are no longer in status, or what we call undocumented here. So, as a general rule, if you fall within that category or a loved one falls within that category, this can be informative to you, but you will most likely not be eligible for what I'm about to talk about. So, let's start. H1B. H1B is a hugely popular visa used especially by multinational employers, and it is extensively used in tech, but is not exclusive to tech. It is a non immigrant visa, meaning it is temporary in its nature, that allows you to hire a foreign national to work on temporary basis for your company. That national has to have at least a bachelor's degree, or there's an additional quota for a master's degree graduate. Everything that I talk about today is an overview. We are going to post a blog on our website, and we'll link it to this video so you could go into details. As a rule, H1B is a lottery because the supply of the applications greatly exceeds what is allowed by the statute in United States. So at first, employers submit an application online to be verified, and then the lottery happens in April. And if the person, the employee, is selected in the lottery, we go forward with the actual processing of the visa. So if you have not been selected in the lottery, there are other alternatives. One, and I think it's a very underused one for certain professions, it's an H2B. H2B is also a non-immigrant temporary work visa for non-agricultural workers. You can use it pretty much for any profession. It is commonly used for professions that do not require a higher degree or specialized knowledge. It does a disservice to the visa because if you have specialized knowledge and you have a higher degree, you're not disqualified from using this visa. We just have to show a temporary need for the worker. It is not a permanent position. And this visa also has a quota, a limitation on how many people can be brought into United States under that quota. It is a little over 60,000, and is broken down into bi-yearly quotas, meaning twice a year. There's going to be half of the quota that's going to be allocated to workers starting in the first half of the year, and half will be allocated to the workers starting in the second half of the year. Now, why is this a very important visa this year? Reason is Biden administration has announced that they will allocate additional over 30,000 workers to start in the second half of the year. This is driven especially by the fact that unemployment is historically low, and there's a lot of open jobs that employers are struggling to fill. So in order to get us productive, working, paying taxes, getting us back on track after the pandemic, we have this additional quota that we can fill for these positions. And again, some people have a misunderstanding that this can only be used for what's called low wage workers or people who do not have higher degrees, but it's actually not true. There's a very big variety of people who can apply for this. Another one that is pretty much exclusive to Mexico and Canada is a TN. We do not see a lot of TN visas from Mexico, but we actually process a pretty big amount from Canada. There are a few differences in the way they're processed, but essentially they're the same. So TN visa is a visa that was created by NAFTA in the 90s, which allows a citizen of Canada, Canadian and Mexican citizens to apply for a temporary visa in the United States to be able to conduct business or to work in a specified profession. And there's actually professions listed. Among them is like lawyers, accountants, certain managerial positions. But there, like I said, there are actual there are actual professions that are listed when the visa was created by Congress. So in our blog that we're going to send out and post, you can click and it'll take you to a place where you can see the entire list of available professions. The good thing about Canadian TN is that you don't actually have to apply for this visa at an embassy. You can apply for it at a port of entry. So, for example, you can book a flight for 10 p.m. on a Monday to come to New York, and you can arrive at the airport earlier, and you would actually go through the application process at the airport. And if you're given the visa, you board your plane already with the visa and come to United States. Okay. For the Mexican nationals, it's a little different. They actually have to apply it at a U.S. embassy in order to obtain the visa. But like I said, it is a widely used visa for those in the know because it allows people to hire people for non-permanent positions or gives a privileged position for citizens of Mexico and Canada because of the treaty that exists between the three countries. It makes it easier for an employer to employ somebody from Canada and Mexico other than in another country. That's another one. For those engaged in international trade with United States, we have an E1 treaty visa. If you have substantial trade going on between your home country and United States, and your home country is on the treaty list, meaning there is an agreement between United States and the country where you hold your citizenship, then you're eligible for an E1 visa. And you can also bring some of your employees under the same visa. And because there's so much in international commerce that happens, it is often overlooked, but an extremely useful visa because it allows a person who doesn't necessarily want to permanently be in the United States, but wants to be able to freely come and go and conduct business here and stay as long as they want, attend meetings and conduct legal business. It allows them to just continue extending the visa for as long as the trade is taking place. There is an E2 investor visa, which allows a person who has to hold a nationality of a country that is on the treaty list, meaning there's an agreement between United States and your country of citizenship. And if that person wants to invest their personal funds into a business in United States that's has the potential of operating, employing American citizens, green card holders, and paying taxes into the U.S. economy. In return, the U.S. government will give you non-permanent visa that will allow you to stay in the United States, work, travel, have a social security for so long as the enterprise is continuing to engage in business and exist. It's widely used by wine importers, people buying businesses here, tech people starting businesses here, textile manufacturers, a huge amount of group of people who've used it for, like I said, tech businesses a lot, of course. Especially we used it for brick and mortar stores, talent agencies. There's a huge amount of potential in the E2 visa. That visa is actually obtained through U.S. Embassy. So you would go to an interview at a U.S. Embassy. They would review your documents, interview you, and your wife and your children under 21 would also get a derivative visa that would allow them to come with you to the United States. Oh, there's an O visa. Okay, for people with extraordinary abilities, and this is widely used for business people, for arts, motion pictures, athletes. There is a special type of visa. If you reach a certain status in your field, right? You can apply for an extraordinary ability visa. It's different from EB1 because it's not a green card. It is a non-permanent visa that allows you to come into the United States and continue to engage in the same field, work in the same field in which you have in the past gained extraordinary ability. And the thinking behind it is that because you're a person of extraordinary ability, the United States is going to benefit greatly from your contributions in the field, right? So it doesn't allow you, if you are a professor or researcher, for example, in the studies of whatever it is, it's not going to let you come here and then start concentrating on modeling. But if you're continuing to work in your field, what you've already become an expert and you've gained these extraordinary abilities, then it will allow you to come here and work. We've used it for chefs, we've used it for screenwriters, we've used it for actors, we've used it for business people, we've used it for sculptors. It could be used for musicians, it could be used for a wide variety of individuals. So to recap, we have the H-1B. H-1B in its nature is a non-immigrant visa. It's temporary in its nature. As an alternative, there are a variety of non-immigrant temporary nature visas. We have H-2B, we have O-1, E-1, E-2, and the TN visa for those from Mexico and Canada. If you have any questions, we are glad to book a consultation and explore those with you based on what your needs are, what it is that you're doing, what country you're from, what kind of experience you have in your field. So all of these are taken into account. We review your resume and we see what it is that we can do for you. Again, once the blog is live up on our website, we're going to mail it to our audience, and I'm also going to link it from the website to this video. This is a very general overview. The blog goes into a lot more details, and then of course the consultation with an attorney can go even into more detail because there are variables with every case. Just like with any other immigration case, a person's variables can determine which route is preferable for you. So you can't really make a determination based on general information, but it's good to know what's out there, what can be explored, and what is available. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next Thursday. Have a good day.